This is Canada Reads American Style, featuring two friends who love Canada Reads and Canadian literature. Welcome our host Rebecca from Michigan and Tara from Ontario.
Hello and welcome to Canada Reads American Style. I'm Tara and I'm here with my podcasting partner and book buddy, Rebecca.
There you go. Book buddy, yeah.
Book buddy. We're laughing because this was take 3 of the introduction. I don't know what you're going to hear. You may just hear that part, but you don't need to hear the rest of it.
I would have left all the funny stuff in, except I had this hacking cough right at the beginning, and I don't think anybody wants to hear that. So anyway, happy holidays, kind of.
Thank you. I'm like supposed to work today, but it's a stat holiday as we're for me, anyways, as we're podcasting. So yeah, it's like a little unexpected holiday.
Yeah.
Great.
It's Veterans Day for all of us, I guess.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
North America, yeah. Although this will come out after.
Yes. But as we speak, it's a beautiful sunny day. It's a good day.
Yeah, we had a little snow. Did you guys get snow?
We did.
Yeah.
Sunday through Monday. It's finally stopped and it stuck around. It's beautiful.
Oh, ours didn't really stick around that much, but it's definitely cold outside.
Yeah.
Which makes me happy, of course.
Yeah, it's beautiful. So we're here to talk about my holiday read book recommendations for 2025. But before we start, do we want to any news? What are you currently reading?
I'll do a currently reading. I am reading book number 4 in the Chronicles of Narnia, which is Prince Caspian. Mm-hmm. Again, I'm reading it in chronological order. And the other book I'm reading is The Godfather by Mario Puzo. I always wanted to read The Godfather because back in the day when I saw the first movie, that is when I fell in love with Al Pacino.
Mm.
When he was that hot-looking young man, I loved him in it. And of course, the mob is very romanticized in the U.S. I don't know if that's true in Canada, but it was always kind of romanticized here. And I always wanted to read The Godfather, so I'm currently reading it.
Are you enjoying it? Like, what's your take so far?
I'm only a few pages in, but it's wild because it just starts out where it's these little like vignettes of people having some issue with something. Mm. And then at the end of each little vignette, I think there's 3 of them, but they say, basically they need to handle the problem. So they're going to go see Don Corleone. Ooh. So 3 separate people, 3 issues, and they're all going to head to see The Godfather. So it's kind of cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
It really sets that tone of because especially the movie is so iconic and it resonates so much, even all these years later, that you just can visually see all the characters kind of. So, yeah.
Very cool. I would not have guessed you for reading that. So I am like pleasantly surprised. Not pleasantly, but I'm surprised. Yeah.
Yeah. It's been on my list. I mean, probably since I saw the movie, which has been like 1,000 years. Mm-hmm. And I was talking to my mom's caregiver and she was talking about it. And then she loaned me her copy. So I said, okay, now I'm going to read it. So
yeah. Nice.
What are you currently reading?
I am currently reading Shani Mootoo's newest book. So it is Starry Night.
Oh, I just was reading about that. Yeah.
Yes. I've only read, I have a poetry collection of hers, but I haven't read it yet. And I had read an earlier book of hers a couple of years ago. I think it was Polar Vortex, mm-hmm. which I ended up loving. That was my introduction to her writing. And it was a book that I loved and was one that I wasn't sure what I was expecting when I went. I expected nothing. And I just jumped into it and ended up loving it. So then I was very excited to read this book. It's very different from Polar Vortex. It tells the story of Anju, who was a young girl living in 1960s Trinidad. And it spans her life between the ages of 4 and 12. So it's all Anju. It's all of her. It's her words. It's her thoughts. Ooh. All from her point of view, from 4, and she's about 8 at this point, and it is lovely. I'm so impressed with how Mootoo gets us into the brain of a child. And
Yeah.
you don't question anything. Like sometimes, you know, when you read books and you wonder about the decisions that a character makes or why they're thinking that or why aren't they saying this, you don't have that here. You're just kind of like you're fully into this young girl's life, and she's just telling you like it is. It really seems to be about silence and what happens when we just don't communicate and talk, because in the 1960s, and I don't think it's changed much, we just don't talk to our children and sometimes and tell them I think we don't think they're going to understand stuff. We want to protect them from more difficult issues, not realizing that they are people, just physically little people with full on brains, and they can handle and are dealing with a lot more than we expect of them.
Yeah.
And so it's very, yeah,
Sounds fascinating.
it
Yeah.
is. So very much enjoying it. I will say when my currently reading, I'll put in I had a little bookish event, not a little. I had a big book event last night. I
Uh-huh.
drove into Hamilton and went and saw Joe Hill and Linwood Barclay in conversation with Paige Maylott, and it was
Oh,
amazing.
wow. All
Yes, it was
three.
it
Wow.
was a good group of authors, a great venue, a great audience. Seeing Joe Hill walk out, so Joe Hill is the son of Stephen King. Seeing him walk out on stage, and he's probably in his 40s, it felt like you're watching Stephen King walk out on stage. It
Wow,
was, yeah,
really?
yeah, it was a little surreal. He's very interesting, a little quirky, enjoyable to listen to. So I think he only is having 3 Canadian stops on his tour for his new book, King's Sorrow. So Hamilton
Oh,
was one of them. So I jumped at the
wow.
chance. Yeah,
Yeah.
jumped at the chance to see him. And Keegan and Mike went with us. So it was like a little family book outing. It was super
That's
awesome.
nice. Oh
Yeah,
my gosh. That
yeah.
sounds
And
really
Linwood
that
Barclay, of course, was charming and funny, and the whole thing. They were a good pair to have together.
I would love to see him in person. He just seems
Yeah,
after seeing him on Canada Reads, it made me want to see him in person. I think he'd just be a lot of fun.
yeah. You should. You will. I think you'll get the opportunity to see him.
Fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah.
Okay, that's it. That's my currently reading and bookish stuff. Shall we jump into my holiday reads?
Oh, you know
Oh, or do you
what?
have something?
I do. I just remembered I
Yeah.
have something.
Yes.
Remember how I had that secret goal? I had that secret goal and I
Yes.
never told you about it?
Yeah. Are
Well,
you going to
I'm
tell me?
I'm going to reveal my secret goal today.
Go.
I read 3 holiday books to
No
recommend.
way. I love it.
I wanted to surprise you.
That's amazing. So this is not just my recommendations then.
Correct.
Fantastic. I love this because I always feel like not a lot of pressure bringing like just my books, but also that it's just me. It's like it's just a spotlight on me. And I'm like, I want to share it with you. So this is awesome.
Well, I have to tell you, our book group, you weren't there one week, and so I told book group what I was doing. I gave them a spoiler, and I said,
Yeah.
"Don't tell Tara I did this." So yeah, I couldn't keep it to myself. I tried really hard, but I did really well because it's
You did.
November.
Yes.
Mhm.
It's like I would have found out that you had this secret like a year ago, like in late December, right? Of
Sure.
2024. So
Mhm.
that's pretty, and this timing is perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yay. Okay.
Yay.
So
Okay. So exciting.
I have 3 books to share, so I'll let you go first because you have more. You're going to talk a little bit about the ones you read
Mhm.
last year, and then when you do your ones for this year, I'll slot mine in as well.
Yes, perfect. Yeah. So normally the previous, I think is this the third year
I think
doing
so.
this? Okay. So
Mhm.
the other 2 years I've just given the recommendations, like the books that I plan on reading in the holiday season. But I thought this year it would be fun to revisit a few of the books from last year that I recommended, because at the time I like recommend in air quotes these books. I actually haven't read them. They're just my like plans to read. So I thought it would be kind of fun to look back on a few of the ones that I'd recommended or read last year and just give you notes and maybe let you decide for yourself if you want to add them into this year.
Sure.
So I'm going to start first with the Christmas Jigsaw Murders by Alexandra Benedict. So this was a fun read, but ultimately, although it was a mystery, because I love mysteries, this was a mystery that had built-in puzzles,
Oh,
word puzzles, clues that you were supposed to solve, or that you could. You didn't have to, and the book was fine. And because you could look to the back and see the solution to the puzzle in the back, kind of thing. But it was supposed to be like an interactive. I realize this is not for me. I don't want to do puzzles while I'm reading. I would get to a puzzle and be like, no. And I would just flip to the back, see the solution, and move on.
that's funny.
So these puzzle books are not for me. I just want to jump into a book and just read. However, I know that there are people, and I think quite a few bit of people, who like to solve puzzles as they're going.
Hmm.
So fun read. I enjoyed it. And if you like doing puzzles, I highly recommend it. But I think the same author may have similar books. I'm not going to look into them, but if you're a
Yeah.
puzzle person, go for it. The second one that I had read was Winter Solstice, which is a backlist, so published in 2000 by Rosamunde Pilcher. I flipping love this book. It was one of my favorite books probably of the year. I loved, I think I'd read it years ago, loved revisiting it. Love this book. If you want like a family saga, warm holiday reading, you can't go
Yeah.
wrong. Yeah, it was perfect. The third one was Holly Jolly Diwali by Sonya Lalli. Uh, it's a rom com. It was fun because I like to read in the holiday season a non Christmas holiday book. So this was a Diwali book, a little bit of traveling, rom com, thoroughly enjoyed. It
Yeah.
was exactly what I wanted from it.
Hmm.
And then the fourth one I'm bringing was The Kingdom of Sweets by Erika Johansen, a dark retelling of the Nutcracker about two sisters and a curse. And
Ooh.
again, I enjoy this because I like a dark retelling of a fairy tale.
Yeah.
There we go. It was a good holiday reading season last year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I remember as you kind of were going through those, I
Mm-hmm.
remember now the puzzle book too.
Yeah.
But yeah, you did have a good holiday reading season. Yeah.
Yeah. Overall,
That's
I
good.
enjoyed it. So I have high hopes for this year's holiday reads. I'm going to start with one and then I'm going to hand it back to you.
Okay.
So the first one on my list, and this one is actually coming by way of my like in-person book club. So this is what we're reading for our book club. And it is Grace and Henry's Holiday Movie Marathon by Matthew Norman. Rom-com. Grace and Henry have both lost their respective spouses. Their matchmaking mothers decide to try to get them together, but they both decide that they're not ready to date, but they do develop a friendship. And one Christmas, Grace decides to join Henry for a holiday movie marathon that was once a holiday tradition for Henry and his wife. And I think I'm assuming romance ensues.
Yeah.
So
Well, so are they, how old are they? They both lost a spouse?
they've both lost a spouse within the last couple years, from what I understand.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know because I haven't started it yet. I will be
Yeah.
starting it probably in the next couple of weeks.
Yeah. That's
Uh,
interesting.
yeah, I it was the one I voted for, so I'm happy that as a group we decided to read this one because I think I would have anyways. But I liked obviously I wanted a rom com.
Mm-hmm.
I liked the idea of the holiday movies because I love holiday movies. And then the aspect of grief kind of, I'm hoping, adds a little more depth to it
Yeah.
as a book, right?
Yeah. It does sound really interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe they don't just jump into the romance, but there's
Yes.
this like emotional path or something.
Yes. I feel like I think one of them has children too. So I think there'll be like a family kind of thing ensues. I don't know. Okay. What's your first one?
So my first book, and I actually did post it to my Instagram, and when I read it, and then I realized, uh-oh, I have to be careful because you might see a theme in my reading and
Mm-hmm.
realize I'm doing Christmas stories. So I didn't add the other two yet. But so I read An English Murder by Cyril Hare. And here's the thing, when I sat down to look for holiday books, I like 90, I feel like 98% of them are romances. And I'm not a big romance fan. So I had to really dig hard. And when I came across this one, I think it was published in 1951, or the setting at least was 1951 England. Yeah, it was written at that time as well. But anyway, and there's a fierce snowstorm, a dead body, there is a murderer. Of course, everybody's a suspect. And then there are more dead bodies. And it really is a cozy mystery. It is I don't want to give anything away. It is like an Agatha Christie. It really is very reminiscent of Agatha Christie. I've only read a few of hers, but I kind of get the gist of them, right? And so what I loved about it was it's like this old English lord or something. I can't remember what his title is, but he's at the end of his life and he decides to have this sort of like holiday Christmas thing at his home out in the country. And of course, there's a massive snowstorm and everybody's stuck. And then there's a murder. And I will say, I actually enjoyed it. I really enjoyed it. And it's kind of just the man himself, the guy that wrote it, is sort of fascinating to me. I read a little bit about his history. But the thing is, it really is an English mystery. And so I don't want to say more than that because I don't want to give anything away. But I feel like some people might get to the end and go, what? I love the ending. I thought it was fabulous because it was exactly what it needed to be. And I learned something and I found it really fascinating. Maybe not everyone will. I don't read a ton of cozy mysteries, so it's hard to say. I personally really enjoyed it. So again, it's An English Murder by Cyril Hare.
Okay, I'm adding that to my list.
Yeah.
That
Well, it's
sounds
funny
good.
because when I posted it, you did say something like you were going to add it to your TBR. And so I thought I would like you to read it and just see what your take is on it and to see if you enjoy it or if it's kind of like a weird one-off. Because you've read, that's one of your goals is reading Agatha Christie. And I thought it'll be interesting to see if you feel like it fits in kind of in her style and
Yeah.
how it all plays out, if that seems like it makes sense. But I will tell you, it's very descriptive. So I still in my mind, and I read this months ago, I can see the landscape and I can see the bridge and the snow and everything. You know what I mean? I can still
Yeah,
see all of it. It's very atmospheric and I
I love
love that
that.
about it. Mm-hmm.
I love that in a book. So, yeah, I'm adding that.
Okay.
Okay, so my next one is also like a mystery thriller. Now, I'm going to apologize because I'm reading the description now and it says nothing about Christmas. But I keep like a virtual list on my phone of Christmas books that I want to read. So at some point,
Yeah.
this has been mentioned as a Christmas book. So I got a feeling that the setting is Christmas, but I apologize. In my looking at it now, I'm like, wait, it says nothing about Christmas, but we're going with it anyways.
Mm-hmm.
And so it is called The Family Game by Catherine Steadman. Okay, synopsis. Harriet is newly engaged to Edward. Edward is the estranged heir to a powerful family. The engagement brings Edward's family back into his life and they welcome Harriet, but perhaps a little bit too much. When Edward's father gives Harriet a recording of a book he has been working on, Harriet finds herself drawn into a deadly game. And
Ooh.
that's all I wrote down for the synopsis. I didn't really dive too I didn't want anything else put into my brain before I read it. That's why I'm saying, like, when I read my synopsis, I'm like, wait, there's nothing about Christmas in my synopsis. And then I'm looking through the synopsis on Storygraph, nothing about Christmas. It's got to be somewhere. It's just not a large part of the book, maybe. I don't know. I will let you know
Right.
next year.
Right. And when I was looking for books too, that's one of the things I didn't want like a Christmas theme necessarily. So I know that in An English Murder, it is at Christmas time that they're all getting together and they're doing that. And then my other two books, there's also this kind of tangential Christmas setting, but it's not the whole story. So that's kind
Yeah.
of how I went with that.
Oh, yeah. No. And I got a feeling that's what this is. And I am totally happy with that
Yeah.
in a book, even though some of my other ones have much more like Christmas holiday themes very much a part of it. If this one doesn't and it's just at Christmas time, so be it.
It sounds good though.
It
I
does sound
really,
really
yeah,
good. Yeah,
that one
yeah.
sounds good. I
Yeah, I
like
added
that.
that one last year, so I have no idea where I heard it from, but when I was going through my list, I was like, "Oh yeah, I'm adding that one." So,
Yeah.
okay.
My second book is A Holiday by Gaslight by Mimi Matthews. And it was funny because this is a romance, but
Hmm.
it's a novella. So I thought, okay, I can do a novella.
Yeah.
But here's why I decided to read it, which is really very funny to me. So it's a Victorian Christmas novella, and it was inspired by social, scientific, and technological advances of the mid 19th century. And the author mentions at the end, she was also inspired by Elizabeth Gaskell's 1855 novel, North and South, which I've never read, but there was a PBS or a British version series of it years ago that I loved, and I've always wanted to read North and South. Well, as soon as I saw that, I was like, okay, I'm in. I'm totally in.
Hmm.
And I even wrote in my review, I'd said, before you roll your eyes and pass on this Victorian Christmas novella, hear me out. So here's what it's about. Sophie is the daughter of an upper class family, and of course, they've run out of money, right? But she's being courted by Mr. Edward Sharp, and he's a wealthy London merchant who is trying to break into polite society. So of course, their getting together is economically and socially important, right? But at the very beginning of the book, I love it. Sophie is very practical, and but she tells him, "We simply do not suit." And it's sort of like he's stunned because here they're courting, and now she right up front says, "No, this isn't going to work." And what you find out is, and I'm not, this isn't a spoiler, but at the very beginning, you find out that he had been reading some kind of a book that told him how to behave, how to court, like basically somebody who's upper class. And of course, all the information was just BS.
Mm.
And so he's really screwed it up, and he's not being his true, authentic self to her. Well, anyway, the relationship is severed. Sophie tells her father, who is expecting her to marry him, so they had an infusion of money into the family, right? And then Christmas is rolling around, and they are inviting people to stay with them, like for over the holidays. And Edward and his parents are going to be some of the guests that will be coming. But there's this whole cool thing about the technology of the time. Darwin is mentioned in it. It's just this really cute, fun little romance that I really enjoyed. So I think it's not going to have a lot of smut in it or anything like that. There's just not that kind of a book. But I just thought it was really a fun book. I really enjoyed it. And I'm not a romance reader, so
Mhm.
I feel like maybe if you're a hardcore romance reader, you might be like, eh. But for those of us who like a little romance around the holidays, I thought this was really fun. I loved it.
Okay, I'm adding that
Yeah.
one too. Thank you.
I had to work really hard to find 3 books to read, so
I know. I am so impressed. I am so impressed. And I love that you're adding to my, like, unexpectedly, I'm getting
yeah,
holiday recommendations myself. So that's pretty
from
cool.
me,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay. My next one was a given because it is the newest book by Uzma Jalaluddin, who I
Okay,
love her books. So this
yeah,
is comes out December 1st, and it is a holiday book. It's called Yours for the Season. A quick little synopsis from what I read. It is a cross cultural fake romance. So I think a fake romance is a pretty common trope in romances. I don't read enough romances to like have favorite tropes
yeah.
or actually to have even, I don't think I've even read like a fake romance. So this will be my first fake romance.
I used to love fake
Oh
romances,
yeah,
yeah. Oh, I really
like I
did,
think
yeah.
it's very popular, right? So I'm
Yeah.
excited to read that. So the couple involved in our fake romance, Samira works at a law firm, and then there's Tom, who is a social media chef. They pursue a fake romance that proves beneficial to both. However, their families insist on meeting each other, fully believing that this is a true romance. And then I said, and hiking and romance ensues. I don't know what that means because I wrote the synopsis myself. I'm like, hiking and romance ensues. But so one, I'm excited to read the fake romance. Two, I love Uzma's books.
Mhm.
The other reason I am super excited by this is that it is set in rural Alaska. And
Ooh.
I know, so it must be when all the families get together.
Hmm.
And I love books set in Alaska. So I was just like, this was a complete bonus when I saw that. So I am very excited for this book.
I feel like I have not all of her books, but more than one has been set in a holiday season, right?
Yes, she wrote one. Was it last year or the year? Maybe must have been the
The
year
year
before. That was
before.
written a twosome. Like she wrote it, co-wrote it with another, maybe Marissa Stapley, I think it was,
Okay.
and that was set in a small Ontario town. Yeah. Also had like it was set in the year when Diwali and Christmas fell at the same time of year. So that's
Oh, okay. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. I
And I
remember that.
really
Yeah.
enjoyed that one as well.
Yeah. I know I read one of her books. I don't remember which one I read though, but you and
I
Shauna and
remember,
I read something
yes,
together. I don't remember.
Aisha at Last, maybe was
Oh,
that
that's it.
it?
That's it. Yep.
That's it,
Hmm.
right? And it might
Yeah.
be her first. I can't remember. It might been that might have been her first book.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah. So that'll be two romances for me. That's quite a
Okay.
bit in 1 month, but I'm okay with that.
Yeah. All right. My third book, when you see it, you will understand why I had to read the Chronicles of Narnia, and then I'll tell you what's happening as a result of this book triggered a whole bunch of cool stuff. Okay. I love this book so much. I read it on as an ebook through the library, and then I bought a copy. So it's Once Upon a Wardrobe by Patti Callahan, who it turns out, I'm sorry, but I didn't know her. She's a New York Times bestselling author of Becoming Mrs. Lewis. So she's written a fictional account, apparently, of the woman who married C.S. Lewis. And I want to read that one too, because I thought her writing was just really wonderful. I loved it. And again, she's best-selling author. I just hadn't heard of her. But here's what it was. And there's a very, like at the end, there's a little bit of Christmas at the end. But this
Mm-hmm.
book to me, it's I love this book so much. Okay, so it is 1950, and Megs is a 17-year-old student of mathematics and physics at Oxford University, and she regularly sees C.S. Lewis on campus because he taught at Oxford. So it's based on the real experiences of C.S. Lewis. So, like, you get a lot of information because I've been kind of going down rabbit holes. So, a lot of what she's talking about with regard to him and his brother Warnie is all true. So, but also at home, her terminally ill 8-year-old brother George has just read the newly published The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe. And so the setting is 1950. George has read the book, and he says to his sister, who he adores, could she just approach C.S. Lewis on campus and ask him, where did Narnia come from? Now, Meg is very shy, and there is no way she wants to do this. And she even thinks it's a kid's book. I'm not going to talk to C.S. Lewis about this kid's book that he's written. And so then George has her read aloud to him. Even though he's read the book multiple times at this point, Megs reads the book to him, and she kind of now is intrigued. But she's still a chicken. So she knows where C.S. Lewis lives off of campus. So, and it's wintertime. So she walks there and she's kind of spying on the house. And then eventually a man comes across where she's sitting, and it's C.S. Lewis's brother Warnie, and the two of them live together. So she says, well, here's what I'm trying to do. And he says, please come to the house and have tea. So now Megs ends up in a relationship with C.S. Lewis, his brother Warnie. She's regularly going to the house and talking to him, and she keeps asking him questions, but C.S. Lewis does not answer the questions. He tells her stories about his life. And through the stories that he tells, you start to get a sense of how The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe and Narnia came about. And it is absolutely amazing. And so, of course, Megs goes back and talks to her brother. And I cried. It's emotional. It's the season. It's everything that is you want in a holiday read. This book is spectacular. So after I read it, I thought, okay, girl, you got to get your butt in gear. This year, I was going to read the Chronicles of Narnia series. I'd only read The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe. And I started doing a rabbit hole deep dive on C.S. Lewis and decided to read it chronologically. And then in December, in mid-December, I'm going to Chicago because there is an actor who is doing, it's called something like A Christmas Evening with C.S. Lewis. So I'm going to go and see the actor tell the story of whatever. I don't even, and I know I could look it up online. I guess there are videos you could watch. I don't want to. I wanted to go and have that experience of sitting in a theater and hearing the words of C.S. Lewis through an actor, and to put a cap on this entire experience that occurred because of this amazing book. If you haven't read it, and you do not have to have read The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe to appreciate it. You don't have to have read the whole series. You don't have to plan to read the whole series. This book as a standalone is amazing, but connected to everything else, it's a magical holiday read in my view.
Okay. Damn it. I'm adding that to my list too. Okay. I have a couple of things. One, I haven't read a lot of the C.S. Lewis. I did read The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, and I think a couple like Prince Caspian.
Mhm.
I think one year I will go through and read those.
Yeah.
The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, I always think of as a Christmas book. I don't know why. Maybe because of the snowy setting in
Yeah.
Narnia. Was it shown at Christmas time? You remember there was like an animated series or
Yeah.
movie? But I always think of it as like a Christmas book. So
Yeah.
I love that. Two, now that we're at the end of your holiday reads,
Mhm.
did you read these? Obviously, you did not read these during the holiday season because it has not started yet.
Correct.
So you've read them throughout the year. What was it like reading? But now your books weren't overtly Christmas, but they were
Right.
holiday. But what was it like?
They were all winter settings, and as you know, winter is my favorite season,
Hmm.
so I was thrilled to read,
Yeah.
especially on those days where, it was hot, or, the sun was out for too much for me or whatever. It was, no, I loved it, and I think because I've never been a holiday reader, I don't know if I would switch to reading these books during the holiday season, or if I would read them. Really, honestly, reading about cold places has always been my thing, and I think I read those especially in the summer because I'm, like, so over hot weather, right?
Hmm.
And so, I don't know that I would read them during the holiday, but, I loved reading them when I did. Yeah, they
Yeah.
were perfect timing for all of them, all 3 of them. Yeah.
Nice. I had fully meant to read some of my holiday reads throughout the year, just so
Mhm.
that for this particular episode, I could be like, oh, I read this and I highly recommend it. I just did not get around to it for
Yeah.
no other reason than that there would always be another book or something else and it would get sidetracked. So I would like to try it next year, just like
Yeah.
peppering these holiday books throughout just to see what that experience is like.
Yeah. And I think especially for me, like I say, when it was hot, I loved reading about,
Hmm.
because the first one I read was the An English Murder, and I don't even know what month that was I read it. Let me see. Let me look this up really quick. I read this in this was in July. So yeah, yeah,
Okay.
yeah, when it was warm.
Yeah.
Because it took me a while really to find 3 books that I thought I would be really excited to read, and I wanted to make sure. I did read another book that was a Christmas book that I did not like, and so I read it, I got to the end, and I read that pretty early on in the season or the year, and I didn't like it, and I thought, well, I that's why I also gave myself time, because I thought I really wanna be able to bring 3 books that I can very comfortably say, "I really enjoyed this, and I wanted to
Yeah.
share it," especially since it was my first year to try it.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I
No.
I will say I would do this again. I don't know again that they'd be hardcore holiday books, but definitely,
More
holiday
seasonal.
related.
Yeah.
Yeah, seasonal,
Yeah.
absolutely. I would do it again. So I think next year
So,
I would help again next year too.
well, I am expecting it now next year. So that is amazing. And I'm going to try reading off season next year too because I'm not a I'm not a seasonal reader. Like the books that I read
Yeah.
do not have to match the season that I'm in. Like I'm not a beach reader. I'm not a only reading horror books in October. I read
Yeah.
whatever all year round. Like I couldn't so it's the only thing that I do is read holiday books at during the holiday season,
Yeah.
which is like not normally how I read books. So I think I am going to mix it up next year and throw in some books, holiday books in the warmer season. Yeah, I'm doing it. Okay, the next book, I may be the only person in the world not to have read it, although you may also not have read it, but you're totally going to. Yeah, no, you
Oh.
are. Yeah. Because it is Small Things Like These by Claire Keegan.
Oh,
And
yeah.
recently, I have not read, so you have read Foster by Claire
Mm-hmm.
Keegan.
Mm-hmm.
So I probably am one of the few people who have not read any Claire Keegan, and I've been meaning to for years. And I'm going to start with this one. This one has been on my list now for several years, and I'm going to do it this year. I'm just going to bite the bullet and do it. I tried to write like a quick synopsis, but this one, it's a quiet book where not a lot happens. So when I went to write my quick synopsis, it was 1985 Small Irish Town. That's all I came up with. So I will quickly read what's in Storygraph. It is 1985 in a small Irish town. Yeah, that's as far as I can. And during the weeks leading up to Christmas, Bill Furlong, a coal merchant and family man who is father to 5 girls, faces into his busiest season. Early one morning, while delivering an order to the local convent, Bill makes a discovery which forces him to confront both his past and the complicit silences of a town controlled by the church. Sounds beautiful, right?
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So there we go. I'm going to add that to your holiday list.
100%. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And my final book, because I love to read horror all year round, including Christmas, maybe even more so at Christmas. I don't know what it is, but I love I think it's just that it's the dichotomy of like holiday season, Christmas, and some blood and guts.
Yeah.
And the one I've chosen is a short story collection, and it is called The Dead of Winter, Beware the Krampus and Other Wicked Christmas Creatures by Sarah Clegg. I know it sounds so good. So it is a collection all about the monsters, witches, and ghoulish creatures that make up lesser known Christmas lore.
Oh my gosh, that sounds
Right?
incredible.
It does sound incredible. I know. I'm really excited for this one. Yeah. I know. I gotta give me a couple more books that are on my TBR right at the moment, and then I'm jumping into my holiday reading. And if I don't get them read, I'm going to continue after January. So it's not a big deal.
Which one are you going to read first, do you think?
Oh, it will be the Grace and Henry's Holiday Movie Marathon.
Oh, that's
because I have to read it for my book club, which I think we're meeting mid-December. So I'm going to read that first, and so that I make sure I have it read.
Yeah.
And then I may follow it up with The Family Game.
Oh, yeah, that one sounded really good.
Yeah.
Actually, all of them sounded really good. So I can't wait to hear. Yeah, I can't wait to hear what you think.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the Small Things Like These, I'm going to buy myself a copy and keep that one for Christmas morning, because I always get up a little, or especially now that our kids are older, like they're adults, they sleep in, and I still get up early to read. So I think I'm going to start that one on Christmas morning.
I love that.
Yeah.
Might do that myself. That's interesting. Yeah.
Yes. Then we can like wake up Christmas morning and know that we're reading the same book.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Well, I think we did a good job again. I'm not going to, I don't want to brag on us or anything, but I think we have some really great titles to share this year.
I think so too. So if you join us, if you do holiday reading of any kind, let us know. Send us a DM, leave a comment, whatever, on Instagram, on our YouTube, and let us know your holiday recommendations, because we are always looking to grow our TBR.
Yep.
Happy reading. Thank you for joining us on our bookish journey. If you enjoyed this episode, please consider subscribing, rating, and reviewing Canada Reads American Style wherever you listen. You can connect with the podcast and Rebecca on Instagram at Canada Reads American Style, and with Tara at On a Branch Reads. Until next time, keep reading.